Okay, we are live. I'm pretty sure we're live. It always starts a few seconds right before. So I've learned my lesson to not say anything crazy right as I'm clicking go live because it always shows up in the video. Okay, let's see. We've got a couple here that I've got to, of course, fix and get us up on there. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Nicole with the Gadget Repair Expo. We are here to talk about three mistakes that are killing repair shop profits. But in addition, of course, we're going to talk about the Gadget Repair Expo and some amazing things going on at the Expo. Of course, I have a whole room of people here that are really knowledgeable and excited to have you guys here. Everybody's going to be at the GRE. And so I'm going to go around the room and let everybody kind of introduce themselves. Of course, I'm Nicole. I own Cellbotics, which if you're looking to get into the industry, you definitely should come to the GRE because I know people are watching on our YouTube right now. If you're on the fence about taking our courses, we would love to have you. But the GRE will really deep dive you into the industry. It is the annual show for the repair industry, so you definitely should come. I also sit on the board for Repairs First Association and part own the Gadget Repair Expo and a whole bunch of other things I won't go into. So we go to first. Brian, let's tell us who you are and what you do.
Brian Ahern. I'm a co-founder of Repairs First Association and the Gadget Repair Expo. And like Nicole said, several other companies that there's no sense to mention. I work a lot with the vendors. I help them get the right booths and the sponsors and get them placed, and the contractors and do a lot with that. I talk a lot with repair shop owners some on a daily basis, some on a weekly basis, some on a monthly basis. And later here, I'll be able to share what I hear in the industry or commonalities. And with that, I'll turn it next door to this guy, the godfather of cell phone repair. He's cut his teeth on this. He's been doing this longer than probably I've been alive. But anyway, Jeremy,
don't flatter yourself, Brian.
I think you're a year older than me. I don't know how.
I know it's only 1 year, right?
I don't even know how old you guys are. That's weird because we worked together so many years. And when you guys were talking about hair earlier, I was like, I don't know.
My name is Jeremy Kwiatkowski. I'm the CEO of the Gadget Repair Expo and co-founder of Repairs First Association. Some of you might know that I founded a little company called CPR Cell Phone Repair and sold that in 2015. And we were bored and missing the space, the industry. And so Brian and I and Brad Broom, it's not on this call, but we formed the Repairs First Association and struggled mightily until we ran into Nicole, who saved us and was instrumental in our growth over the last 5 years. And as we were running the association, we realized that we had a huge gap in this industry by not having an industry show that we could bring all the components together and have an expo and a convention and training and exhibitors and all kinds of fun, exciting things. And so we decided to launch the Gadget Repair Expo. And this year would be 6.0 for us in Atlantic City. We're very excited about that. And thank you all for those folks on this call for participating in that over the years. And without further ado, I'll turn it over.
I think we've got Chris on here, but he's off mute and off camera. So I'm going to put him down until he comes back. But Jonathan, go ahead. Let me move Chris down to the end.
My name's Jonathan Strange. I'm the founder of XI Repair. We're an independent repair service company in Montgomery, Alabama. I've operated this company for over a decade now, so I have a lot of experience actually running a repair store, being a technician, being a manager, the whole gambit. I'm also a Repairs First board member, very proud to be that. And I will be hosting a podcast this year, again, at the Gadget Repair Expo. So if you're interested in joining that or have something that you would like to contribute or maybe talk about your company that might already be a sponsor or maybe be there, go to the gadgetrepairexpo.com and then click on the GRE podcast and fill it out. And I'll make sure to reach out to you guys. So that's a little bit about
I'll put that link in there too.
The way you do podcasts, your voice is like like mesmerized. I close my eyes.
It's
thinking
soothing.
I'm listening to you on the radio or something.
It's
I
very
appreciate
soothing.
that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Definitely.
make
Little
videos
AS
on YouTube.
I'm gonna record an ASMR session just for you, Jeremy, where I'm fixing a phone and you can play it at nighttime. All right?
I love it. I love it. It's better than that white noise, waterfalls or whatever. It makes me get up 5 times a night,
Very true. Very true.
That's an old man problem. You wouldn't know about that, John.
No, when you run a company, it makes you old young, man.
Hilarious. Okay, Brad, what about you? Who are you?
Oh, Brad, you're on mute.
Oh, you're on mute. Oh, we've got sound difficulties.
Brian,
Maybe-
you could do a hand signal.
Maybe check your microphone. No, we still can't hear you. You might have your microphone
You're in?
wrong.
It doesn't
Yeah,
say
there
you
There
are.
you are.
There it is.
There you
There
are.
it is. Yeah.
I'm the guy who screwed up his tech. That's me, Brad Bacigalupi. No. I'm Brad Bacigalupi, founder of Red Wolf Technology. I've been in this industry for many, many years. I founded a company out of college called Protection Pro. As my background, we were the first on-demand screen protector before, the hundreds we see now. The kind of quick industry data that we saw was we believe now there's about 2 million stores in the world that use that technology all over in every country in the world. And over 1 billion phones have been protected in that method in the past 10 years. A lot of this data comes from the factories that we work directly with all over the world. And so I'm pretty proud of that movement we built. And then decided we want to do it bigger and better at Red Wolf. So as you'll see at the GRE, we have our 3D printing technology that allows stores to 3D print phone cases for any phone, tools, spudgers, jigs, toys, other things. We're seeing shops use it for all kinds of things. And again, we've innovated on some new tempered glass, and we have a really cool software system that we want to present at the show. But that's my background. Super excited to be here. GRE has been a great partner and a great way for us to get out and reach the community. So excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited about your demo. It's always great. I love the demos. We have a lot of exciting demos going on at the GRE. So real quick, before we get on our topic, I just want to remind everybody, I hit share screen too soon, but if you go to the website, you can, sign up to get on Jonathan's podcast if you would like. You can buy your ticket. You can also check out, we've got speed networking. So if you come over there at events at the expo, you can see everything on our homepage, right? And get to the links. But if you go to the menu, you can see we've got some new things. So we've got the Shop Talk Live. We're going to have a total of 5 panelists, but if you're interested in speaking, please apply. There is a place for that, but these are actual shop owners in the industry coming together to talk about what's going on in the industry. We're going to be having meetings leading up to the show. It's going to be a really great session. So if you're interested in attending, just look at the schedule when we're going to have the schedule up here within the next week or two. But especially when you come on site, look for the schedule so then you can make sure that you don't miss this session because it's going to be really, really cool. And then don't forget about our competitions. So let me get over here to the micro soldering one. Again, it's a $3,500 prize for an iPad Air charge port. These are our amazing judges here. We have Jonathan, Jessa, and Martin. Some faces you guys should know. And then one thing that I want to bring up before we get on our topic is certificates. So we are actually launching courses at the GRE. So what this means is certificate of completion. They're going to be around an hour. Some may be a little bit longer. We don't anticipate them being shorter than an hour. There is limited seating on some of them. So for example, we have Mr. Phone Doctor. He's going to be doing a course and you do have to register for it. It has limited seating, but it is included with your VIP ticket. So ticket holders that have the $75 ticket, it's included, it's not extra cost, and you actually would get a certificate from him. He's going to actually have equipment that you use and see you do this process, and then he's going to give you a certificate of completion. Chris who was on this call, but he dropped off. He's going to be doing from filming repairs to filling your store. He's going to actually go through with you how to record and all. It's going to be great, but you would also leave with a certificate. So this is really something new for us. We're excited about it. We want to hear your feedback. If you have a suggestion on a course you would like to see, we're definitely open to hearing about it. So our topic, 3 mistakes killing repair shop profits right now. So we have shops watching right now. If your shop, comment, what do you think's killing your profit? What do you think's killing other shops' profit? What do you guys have to say about it? I'll kind of go around. Brian, would you start first?
Sure. So a lot of the commonalities that I hear, shop owners admitting to is, one, just not asking for the sale. Not trying to do an upgrade. Basically, customer calls, I have a blah, blah, blah phone, how much to fix, they shoot a price, and then they hang up. Or when the customer comes in, they shoot a price and the customer says, I'll get it cheaper down the road. And then they just say, okay. So I'm going to tie all that back into one answer. Not having a qualified sales rep at the front counter to handle mostly just sales. Going back to my stores, going back to the CPR days, we always had a salesperson up front, and when they weren't answering the phone and they weren't talking with customers, they were wiping down countertops. They were doing callbacks on people that had called to make an appointment that didn't show up. They were doing follow-up phone calls. So they were busy. It's not like they weren't doing anything when the phone didn't ring or the person didn't come in. But I would say that's probably one of the top biggest mistakes for a repair shop. By not having a qualified salesperson at the front counter. And then, that can lead into, well, I can't afford one. Well,
I was going to say, can I ask you a question, Brian, for the shop owners and all of you that are watching, if you have salespeople, do you take the expense, expect the return on the end, or do you try to make enough money to, because they sometimes think of it like, I have to have payroll for a year for this person. I have to be able to make that money, then hire them, versus bring on someone valuable to increase income. What is your guys' thoughts?
You got to put gas in the car before you can drive out of state. I mean, you have to invest in it. If that means that you don't make as much for a couple, 2 or 3 months, so be it. But a good sales rep on, if you took your common leads, or if you took your conversion rate today, and if you're not a sales rep, and you're not a sales rep, okay, you're going to expect that sales rep to convert more than that almost immediately, right? And maybe Jeremy might have some deeper thoughts on analysis on that, because I know that he, and maybe Jonathan, because they're in a store today. And probably track it a little bit closer. But I'll just say, my contribution to this particular conversation is, one, not having a qualified sales rep. Yes, you get the right one, they will make their money back for you. Nothing different than, you can hire the wrong one too, just like you can hire a wrong tech, right? That can happen. Hire slow, fire fast. But yeah. And I'll kind of let anybody else either dovetail or correct me or add to that, or whatever your thoughts are.
Well, I'll jump in on that part of it. Dedicated salesperson is so vital, and I call it the front end support person, really. But the sales is their primary, duty. As owners, we get caught in so many situations that we're almost aggravated when a customer starts asking us 2 or 3 questions, right? Because we know at the back of our mind, we've got a list of things that we have to get done today. And we end up giving real short answers, or, really quick customer service to the customer in front of you. You're not talking about an upsell. You're leaving all kinds of money on the table. And we see our owners wearing all these hats, and they don't need to. They don't understand, their role is so much more vital than, a $10 an hour salesperson with commission on top of that. I always say to an owner, so you tell me you're only worth $10 an hour. You're running the front of your store, but effectively your attach ratio is, less than 10%. You could go on and on and on. How many cases are you selling? How many tempered glasses are you selling? Are you upselling into a battery when you do a screen repair? Are you doing any of these things? And your answer, when they don't have it and they're the ones doing it, is almost always no. They're not doing it. And that's simply because they're spread too thin. And when you actually dedicate somebody to your front end operation, as Brian said, it's not just sales. So if they say, well, what happens to slow? I'm paying somebody to sit there and do nothing. Well, that is your fault. Like, they should have some additional job description there that will make them, when it's slow, what are they doing? Are they doing customer follow-ups? One thing we do in our stores all the time is, and we would turn that into money, is we'd call the customer after a week and check in, see how their device is doing after repair. And what we'd find out is, oh, it's great. Thank you so much. And then that leads you into, by the way, just so you know, you came in to have your iPhone repaired or your Samsung repaired. We also fix laptops, game systems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, by the way, I didn't know that. I have a laptop right here that has a broken screen or a virus or whatever. And we find that those follow-up calls generate us a lot of money. And you don't, as an owner, have the capability of having those calls on top of trying to run the store, on top of repairing all the devices, on top of trying to run your, ordering or RMAs or whatever. Strictly, getting to the point. That's the biggest profit killer in a store, is not dedicating the resources to the front end of your operation.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. So one, I would say that I see a lot of repair shops, to piggyback on the sales topic, they're not front loading a lot of the work. And what I mean by that is, if you call the typical repair shop, it's already been stated, but the repair shop owner is often just like, the iPhone 11 screen is $99. And then there's like an awkward silence. There was no, hey, how are you? What's the reason for getting this device fixed? Like, we have an intake list of questions. It's first just, who are you? Do you have an account with us yet? Then it's we're in control of the conversation by asking what the device is, the device manufacturer, then what the problem is that you're having with it. And by asking these questions, a lot of times we find that there's other questions that the customer may not even be thinking about they should be asking, like, you thought you just needed a screen because the phone wasn't coming on, but you letting us know it's an iPhone XR and it's never had a battery replaced. So before you come in, we're already telling you, hey, you should probably get that battery replaced as well. And by front loading a lot of that conversation and dialogue, and just being a little bit more intuitive with how you're talking to the customer, you'll have way more sales. And you've turned what might have just been a simple screen replacement into a screen replacement, a battery replacement. Now they're bringing in their iPad for a digitizer replacement. They're upgrading to whatever prepaid carrier you're offering in store with a privacy tipper glass and case, simply by having that conversation. So I see a lot of shops.
I agree with that. One thing, just to jump in there, that's, you're building a rapport with the customer. And we used to call that giving good phone, right? If you don't give good phone, you're going to, your ratio of door swings is going to reflect that. So if you're not answering the phone, like you were saying, and building some rapport with the customer, to avoid them, it's not just a quote. To avoid them calling around and talking to somebody else because they really didn't get a warm and fuzzy feeling from whoever they were talking to in the store. So go ahead, Jonathan. Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no, you're good. And I would also say on check-in in person, it's great to do a visual inspection. I can't tell you how many shops I've been in, like especially overseas. I see this worse than ever. And it's like the customer goes into the shop in Europe and they're like, hey, I need a screen. And then the shop owner's just like, all right, $75, pay me. And they do it. And they completely ignored that, like the rear camera glass was cracked. And that was a great upsell. You've already opened the device. All you had to do was take out the camera, bust out the remaining glass and replace it. And you could have made an extra $75 or whatever. So slowing down your check-in process is one of the best pieces of advice I can give to any repair shop owner, and front loading a lot of that conversation as well as the dialogue about what can be fixed and how much it's going to cost. Because most customers are surprised, that they walk in with this expectation that you're going to be like Apple, where anything beside a screen is going to be $500 to fix. And in reality, you might be 50, 80, $100 to fix it in addition to whatever they're already getting done. And they're probably happy with that. As a practical piece of advice, I would say on that subject, sorry to interrupt you, Nicole, but
No, it's okay.
I would
Go
say
ahead.
check battery health. Like every iPhone that comes in, our sales reps, the first thing they do if the phone is working is we immediately check battery health, no matter what they're walking in for, because it's pretty
So it's
practical.
low hanging fruit right there.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
so easy.
If the phone's older than 2 years old, and you can tell that by the model, just go look at the battery health. I guarantee it probably says a service message, which is like the easiest upsell ever, because you're like, hey, look, you're here for a screen, or you're here for a backlash replacement, but like, I just want to show you this. You see that battery health there, the service message, this is the phone is telling you need a new battery. Why don't we upgrade that for you while we're in there? And then they're like, oh yeah, that's an obvious yes.
Jonathan, to Brian's point, I'm guessing you don't wear all the hats in your business.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because Jonathan has very well organized shops. I don't know if are you still
Just one right now. Yeah, we just
Okay.
have one at the moment.
But from what I know about you, from working with you for a few years, I know that you run a really well-oiled ship, and you're always innovating and adding things, and you've got some really good stuff at your shop, and you do really well at running your business and balancing. I mean, how do you do that? You have salespeople. What kind of level of different? I recently had a shop owner, she's on a list of things I need to do, ask me about a type of org chart. Like, what positions would I even have, and what would they even do? If I had a shop that ran really well, like Jonathan, like what different people do you kind of have?
Yeah, so I would say the most consistent roles we have that are probably most practical to most shop owners is managers, sales reps, and then technicians. Like that's the baseline. I would say within that there's variance. Like we have different levels of technician. We separate them based on 1, 2, and 3 levels, which level 1 is like a screen replacement, and level 3 is like a data recovery or a micro soldering repair. And so that's how we separate our own internal staff. But I think every repair shop can relate to, or should at least get to a point where you have some form of manager, if that's not you, the owner. Should be the goal, and then having a front staff that's mainly dedicated to filling in leads. But we're sitting here talking about how important it is to have that sales rep, and I think for some shops, many shops, they're not ready for that yet because they don't have a lead gen system. Maybe they're not using a point of sale system yet, and that's a bigger problem. But you need to first be using software, and then 2, you need to have some kind of lead generator, whether that's a Google listing at minimum, or at best maybe you're paying for some kind of advertising like radio or TV, or Google ad workaround, whatever works in your particular area. You got to have some kind of leads coming in, because if you don't have those, having a sales rep's kind of irrelevant. But once you have those 2 things set up, you could absolutely justify, I would tell any repair shop, take the risk of paying someone's payroll for the first month, and you'll see pretty quickly that just having someone dedicated to like only taking customers' information, answering their questions in a professional manner, and as long as your pricing is competitive, which for most people, it's going to be way better than any OEM alternative, you'll have sales. You'll definitely make money.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. Brad, I think it's a good part to bring you in. I mean, you work with the shop all the time. I mean, for years. I mean, you've been working with people in the industry. So what is your insight on that?
Yeah. So, we're collecting data from 160 countries, customers, and we look very closely at the data stores that have just off the charts production. And then we'll go do an interview and see, what is special about this store? Do they have a really unique traffic location? Is this a tourist hub? Is this a spot in the city, or what else? What we're trying to understand why this particular store might sell 50 units in a day, 20 units in a day, something very anomalous. And what the patterns that we found is that the shop has a system in place. Leadership understands the data and gives the team, metrics to measure. And they're very proactive they're very conscious and proactive in the type of people that they hire. Because even if we take a step back, if maybe you have hired employees that just don't, maybe don't follow instructions or don't have the personality type to sell. They're afraid to talk to people. And so we kind of talk about having the right people on the right bus and the right seat to excel at the job that you've tasked them with. So I'd say, just going back to the original, yeah. So a lot of people just aren't, it's not in their DNA to just ask or to push a little bit more to find, is the back glass broken? Is the battery dead? And then the people that you have, are they the types that can be trained? And then, is the store have an incentive system or some way to track, how many people have come in the door? How many have I upsold? How many? So I think it's all about the data and the team for that particular question of how to increase revenue at a shop. So having a system.
Yeah, I think also, Brad, when you talk about maybe 3 mistakes, right, that are killing repair shop profits, what about like products and things? So we've kind of established that not having a salesperson, but it's being like on the cutting edge of software and products. It sounds like to me, and professionalism.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of my whole thesis from the get-go has been don't have too much inventory, don't have too little inventory, always be ready. And so for my, narrow set of products, which is on-demand screen protectors or on-demand phone cases, it's kind of one SKU covers it all. So any device that comes into the store, you will have something to upsell them at very strong margin. That's one strategy. So too little or too much inventory hurts your ability hurts your costs or hurts your margin or your profit. And then additionally, we are launching at the GRE a tool. I think a lot of shops, like, you can lose $100 if you're buying a repair kit, a service kit, without shopping a little bit. We find a lot of shops are looking at all these different sources. Maybe their standard distributor doesn't have the part, so they lose it, or they just pay way too much if they just went to the other distributor. So I think another one is being conscious of your costs. So and not spinning your wheels trying to save pennies or nickels when you could save $5, $10 or $100 on your weekly inventory purchases. So I think that's another thing we're adding this year to help shops be more profitable. Does that answer your question, Nicole?
It does. Do you want to talk about what you're launching at the GRE? Because you mentioned that really quickly.
Yeah.
You want to wait till the GRE?
We've got 2 big product launches at GRE. The one I just talked about was, we like to call it's kind of like Google Flights for part purchasing. So this is called Primo Parts. And basically, we collect information from all the major distributors, and we help stores quickly find the best price, the best quality. Are they still shipping? I think we just find a lot of shops get in a habit of buying from the same distributor time and time again, and they might be leaving a lot of money on the table, or they just assume a part's not in stock when another distributor might have it. So I think it's giving, just like buyers, the ability to make informed decisions to make them more profitable.
Wow.
One thing I could jump in here and say real quick is, self-plug here. Repairs First, if you're a member, we literally save stores hundreds and hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands, depending on what they're buying, with some of our vendor discounts that we have. That's a big part. You figured paying us $69 a month is one thing, but when we're saving you hundreds or even thousands of dollars, that's profitability. You can destroy your profit by not paying attention to what's out there and leveraging your economies of scale by joining the RFA and being a member and bring those discounts. I think that's important. Not only training, you kill profitability when your technician is fully trained, or even your staff and salespeople. We have all that training on the RFA platform, making sure you have consistent, up-to-date training. They're not just breaking devices. That's one of the things I saw in my stores all the time is you bring somebody new and they're not fully trained. They break somebody's $500 device, and that costs you money, a lot of money, $500. You got to replace it. Customer doesn't want you, to find them a used device. They want a new one now. So, not having proper training, leveraging economies of scale with the RFA can really help bring a lot of those profits back to you. And I just want to make that point off what you were saying, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of money on the table, discounts, savings that stores, if they're looking, can realize.
Definitely.
Nicole, could I add one?
Go ahead. Yeah, please. Yeah.
I would say right now, what I hear from shops is like inconsistency in pricing. Is that well, I don't hear this from them, but I have a consultation with them, and then I deep dive in their software, in particular in their pricing, and I'm looking at their iPad screen replacement, and they're barely doing it at cost due to increases recently from tariffs or just general inflation from parts pricing. Or in some cases, it's the opposite. And maybe there's certain SKUs where now they're wildly uncompetitive because they haven't updated their pricing in a year and a half. And time flies. A lot of these shops don't even realize it until it's gone by that their iPhone 12 screen is like wildly uncompetitive compared to competitors that are consistently updating their pricing. So I would say like really honing in and looking at your pricing system, evaluating how you're determining what your markup is on parts as labor, and being consistent about that is, like, to me, probably the most pivotal and most important thing any shop can do. Because we talk about sales reps. I mean, if you're operating like some of these shops do with the piece of paper where they just write down, iPhone 11 screen is $80, iPhone 12 battery is $85. That's not an efficient way or scalable way. Let alone, you definitely can't run a hiree as a sales rep if that's how you're operating and pricing. So I would just say, yeah, finding a way, whether it's some partially manual where you're going in and evaluating the most common repairs you're doing and then adding a manual markup or using software to do that. I think that's probably the most important thing that any shop owner could be doing right now to stay competitive.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to show the GRE website really quickly before we move on and continue to talk, just as a reminder. I have some demos that are going on at the GRE. So we'll have Jessa Jones, Martin, Edgar, Christian Kelly, Mr. Phone Doctor, Brad. We're going to be adding Red Wolf up here soon for their demo. And we're going to be adding to this. So there's always something new and great going on. The expo is to keep you up to date with your industry. You have to come here. That'd be great.
One of the things I just want to jump in, if you don't mind, Nicole. One of the things to see, and I want to underline this, I wrote it in my book here before the call, is diversification. We push this at the Gadget Repair Expo for a reason, because we see too many shops. They lose a ton of money only concentrating on LCD repairs, screen repairs, I should say. They're not really doing micro soldering, definitely not doing any HDMIs, definitely not doing any TVs. They're not doing any scooter repairs. They're not being receptive to customers asking for repairs on devices that they don't currently do. They're not open-minded for, bringing in new type of repairs or devices. And that's why the Gadget Repair Expo is so great to come out and really put your eyeballs on. We've got a gentleman named Christian. He used to work for me for a number of years. He's got a fantastic business. He does all kinds of different things: TV repairs, scooter repairs, e-bike repairs. Of course, he does all the standard stuff too. But he never says no. That's one thing I never did. I never said no. Someone comes in, I had a repaired a Wurlitzer jukebox one time, right? So I didn't say no. I said, look, bring it in here. Let me take a look at what I can do. And when you get that reputation for saying yes instead of no, that is a big deal. And so I would definitely implore you to look at diversification and make sure that your product line of repairs, I should say, is bigger than just the common stuff. Don't be turning anything away. At least give it a shot. It's an easy, honest conversation with a customer. Hey, we don't normally repair these, but I don't want to turn it away either. I mean, it's good to see Chris here, because I know that Chris is a very, very common thing in his store. He doesn't like to say no to anybody. Hey, Chris, welcome.
What's up, y'all? Sorry, my signal was horrible, but I'm here.
That's okay. We're talking about 3 mistakes killing repair shop profits right now. And then I was just running through the GRE website, just to remind everybody to get their ticket. The show's coming soon, so don't wait. Tickets are discounted. I mean, they're cheap as they've ever been. I mean, $25 or $75, and you pick what you get with it, what you're interested in. So definitely.
Let me throw something in there. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. But a lot of people have known for the last 5 years that, when we come on these shows, we give away free tickets. And $25 is about as free as we're going to get this year. So I just want to, if you're holding out, waiting for their free ticket code, I don't want to disappoint you, but this year we have 2 levels. One of them's $25 for floor access, and the other one's only $75. So we actually lowered the ticket price from $99 down to $75. And that's going to get you access to all the demos, the certifications, the cocktail party. I mean, everything. And the floor pass is the floor pass. If you're not interested in those other things, then there's no need to have that. But I don't know of any other venue out there right now that has a $25 and a $75 ticket to have the options that we have at our show as long as the networking. So, like I said, just didn't want to let anybody hold out. Also, I will say this, just because I just recently got the report from the hotel. Vendors and attendees, if you're looking for an inexpensive hotel room for only $130, that's $100 for the room and $30 for the resort fee. Get it booked now. The prices are drastically higher, not going through us versus going through us, but we were only able to secure a small block. Once that block is done, you're going to pay full price for the hotels. And as anyone that travels knows, the closer you get to an event, the more they're going to charge you. So if you want to save money to compensate you back for the $25 ticket, book your hotel room now, because you're going to save a lot more than that than if you went to any other venue. So,
and you definitely want
it's a
to
really
be
nice
at,
venue.
you definitely want to be at this venue too, right? Like I've been to some conferences and made the mistake of like staying down the street and like you don't run into anybody versus like when you're actually staying in the hotel, you might run into me or Chris or Jeremy in an elevator and like get a private conversation that you probably would not have gotten if you weren't actually at the venue. So,
well, very good point. And plus,
100%.
you don't have to pay $30 for an Uber ride to go back and forth. I mean, I know that I went when I went to a show in Vegas. I elected to stay at a hotel 20 minutes away because it was $50 a night cheaper. Well, it's cost me $60 a day in Uber rides to go back and forth. So the Hard Rock Casino Resort, it's right there on the beach. It's right there on the boardwalk.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful property.
Beautiful property. A
Anywhere
lot
else.
of renovations.
Restaurants.
Yeah. Restaurants are just right upstairs, right above the floor.
If you go back to that picture, Nicole, go back a couple more. If you
Have a
see
beautiful
that
dinner.
with the blue water, that's upstairs. Right below that, that's where all the restaurants are above the GRE show. So if you go back, if you didn't see it, but right below that blue screen there, that's the entrance to the arena where we'll be at. So that's literally, we're right in the lobby here, right off the lobby area. A really incredible venue.
Wow.
And you can go upstairs and you can grab your food and come back downstairs. We'll have plenty of tables. Atlanta Wholesale is sponsoring water bottles. So there's no sense in spending $7 for a water bottle upstairs or whatever that costs. And the rooms are really nice.
The rooms are nice. I'm a bathroom person. I gotta have a big bathroom with a big shower. Oh, I like that. It's nice.
Yeah. So
The rooms are very nice.
That we should do, like, if we do if you buy a VIP ticket, you get a free like photo op with Jeremy. That'll probably like buy tickets.
Nobody will buy one then, Chris.
I know.
no, Chris, you get to go to their room for a little while. That's how you sell those. You get a private session.
You get a visit from Chris.
A private visit from the eye doctor.
Massage.
Yeah, he'll fix you up.
Well, this is a beautiful hotel, and don't forget it's got the casino. I mean, it's like both worlds. It's like going to Vegas, but then going to the beach also. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, I was just talking about diversification of, inside your store, doing more than just screen repairs. I don't know if you heard that. I know that you love to do all kinds of things. You never say no to anybody if you can avoid it. I know you and I were just talking about something you brought in the other day. It's like a instrument panel for something, a car, or what was that?
Yeah, it was the instrument cluster for a Nissan, and apparently the guy who brought it to me, he said that was a very common issue in a lot of vehicles. And he said that he knew exactly what needed to be done, but he was like, listen, I know that, you're the guy, you can do soldering. I know exactly what needs to be done, but I have no skills with soldering. So I say, I mean, hey, if I can do it, I'll do it. It's worth a shot. And he brought it in, and to my surprise, it actually worked. So I told him, hey, if you ever need any more of these done, like, let me know. I'll knock them out for you. And if you know anybody else that needs it done, let me know. He said that like dealers are charging $800 to fix those things, and it literally took me 5 minutes.
Wow. Well, what did you charge him? $750?
No, I charged him like $150, but I honestly didn't
That's
know
100% profit, right?
Yeah, it was all profit. It cost me a jumper wire, not even a couple centimeters worth of jumper wire.
That's exactly my point. Like, if you're not diversifying, you're telling people no, because it's not something you've done before. That's a problem. It's killing your profits for sure.
One that I've seen on kind of this diversifying thing by just asking or knowing it exists. We have a number of our customers who put our 3D printer out, and now people in the community realize that 3D printers are there, and they're doing quite a bit of business with 3D printer repair, which is clogged nozzles. It's usually $50 to $150 per repair. And I think just by having it out there, a lot of new interesting organic business comes, and then they'll get the contract with the school district who has 300 3D printers that need servicing every 6 months, for example. So I'm all about that, putting it out there, and the opportunities will come.
That's a great idea. Do you sell stand for it, for the lobby? Do you sell something like that so they can set it up kind of like a kiosk?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have an Amazon. We just recommend a little podium that you can get on Amazon for $50. We're not in the business of furniture, but there's a lot of nice furniture people can get very easily next day. So yeah.
You get some signage around that maybe to recommend they print out. That's neat. That's actually a good idea. Very good idea.
Awesome. Okay, well, we've showed the website. Get your ticket if you're watching. I mean, the show's coming up soon. Anything else you guys want to add before we get off here? Any other tips you can give shops to increase profit or something that might be affecting them? What I hear a lot of is, what if a shop, a lot of times people talk about topics, they're speaking to shops that are really unprofessional, like, doing intake and all that. I feel like, what about shops that are on another level? Like, they're really professional shops and they want to step up their income. Do you have something for someone that is really, really putting the professional out there in their community? They've got a good space, they've got staff. Anybody, can you speak to anybody like that may be listening that's like, oh, of course I do an intake and I've got a salesperson, I've got employees, but I want to increase. Let's talk to those kind of people. Do we have anything quick that we can offer them?
I'm gonna plug up Jeremy. Plug up was probably not the right words to use, but it came out kind of wrong. But Jeremy can talk about it better than I. But one of the things that we've been working with several repair shops that really have it locked in is providing additional services like home services. And from that, I'm going to point that over to Jeremy real quick.
Yeah. So, one of the things we're working very hard on is part of the diversification is bringing home services to this industry. And home service is the fastest growing segment in the electronics world. I give you some cases in point. You've got your guys running out doing, appliance repair. That's a home service. To go to somebody's home, you service something. We've got warranty companies coming to us for the RFA because, with over 1,600 members, we can service them across the nation. And you should sign up with us and start taking part in getting some of these claims because, we might send you out to do a couch, and people say, "What? I'm not doing any upholstery work." You'd be surprised how many couches and easy chairs have motors in them and remote controls, and those things go bad. And the warranty companies are paying $200 or $300 to run out and do those type of repairs. We've got refrigerators with LCDs in the front door. You've got a slew of things, from everything from exercise bikes like a Peloton So by opening your doors up and actually hitting the road as an owner, and seeing what the opportunities are, that's another form of obviously diversification
and marketing too.
Retail. Yeah.
Marketing too, because you're just going into these people's houses, and I mean, you fix their couch. Hey, did you know that we can fix, this, or we can fix that? We do all
computers, TVs, whatever. Yeah.
Putting this out there, guys. I mean, I'm watching this very closely in the next 5 years. How many households are going to have a $10,000 to $50,000 robot that will for sure get stuff spilled on it or get damaged?
For the record, I ordered a Neo. So
me too. I mean, now's the time for home repair because these are coming into people's homes. So.
Robots are coming into people's homes, like it or not. And are you going to be someone that's going to be able to diversify and add that to your portfolio? Are you going to be on the cutting edge? Or are you going to look at it later and say, oh, wow, I want to get in then? But yeah, these things are coming.
So the shops need to start optimizing their SEO for robot repair because it's not now, but it's coming. Now's the time to start being the local repair guy.
Yeah, repair is what I don't know if y'all see it, but I see repair moving from just handheld electronics to it's just getting broader and broader. They're using
to the point we were just making. Everything in your house is electronic now, even your couch. I mean, come on, right? Yeah. Things you never thought would have some sort of electronics in it, Wi-Fi or whatever. You can operate, literally anything with an app, right? And so that's just opportunity. And those opportunities cannot be forgotten. You've got to think about where your business is going. And let's say repair shop in North Dakota has 5 furniture claims. Yeah. Brad Broom. I recognize that guy.
Yeah, Brad. Here you go.
Hey.
So thanks for joining us, Brad. Anyway, that's a great point there. Just one shop has received 5 claims from us. And then they're making a couple $100 a claim. Yeah,
it's not upholstery.
These are motors. The motors go bad. These are control panel on the side of the couch or the easy chair. That goes bad. And we're talking about repairs that take far less than an hour. When him and I started this warranty claims with OnPoint, we went out and did one just to see, what's the deal. We spent an hour there, but 30 minutes was just talking to the homeowner, blah, 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 blah. They wouldn't stop talking, so we couldn't leave. But that being said, we were paid for a full hour for a job that probably would have just taken us 20 minutes. And all we did is replace this USB control panel on the side of the couch. It had USB jacks. You could power your phone and controls to operating the recliners. That's it. Very simple, very easy, $300. There's a ton of money out there, and we're pursuing it. And join the RFA, be part of that. Bring an enterprise or bring warranty companies, and it's not going to be that we're going to send you handsets in your door. I'm sorry, folks. That business is taken by the Assurion, the Assurance of the world, You Break, I Fix, and CPR with Assurant. The rest of it is all home warranty and stuff that based on home services. And we're going to a lot about this at the GRE. I'm doing a keynote speech about home warranties and home services. So please come, hear me out, listen to Chris Smith from OnPoint, listen to some great speakers talking about why home services are where you need to go. This is the future.
And if I'm not mistaken, the phone doctor, I'm sure y'all know who the phone doctor is. At the last expo, he told me that he was doing a lot of home services like security cameras and things of that sort. And
yeah, 100%.
I would love to get into doing those type of things because it's not really a whole lot of companies doing it like that, in my opinion. That's just another.
Even people that, hey, I don't want to get out of here and I can't figure out my Wi-Fi password.
I mean, yeah, those are the best.
How do I? You can't even walk them through resetting a router, right? But you can go out there, make $75 to reset their router, program it with their new username and password. You're good to go.
And they don't mind paying it. I mean, they'll pay you $75 for 40 minutes worth of patience because they don't have nobody else to help them.
Yeah, I think you mentioned $75. Oh, sorry.
Charging ports is another one. I'm going to switch directions slightly. I wrote it down in my paperwork here. people are doing this stuff for free. I shake my head at this. This is ridiculous, right? A customer brought it in to have it fixed and repaired. And you are a retail store with employees and rent and overhead. And for you to do something for free, that makes no sense whatsoever. So even if it's $35, come up with a minimum bench fee that you need to charge customers for services such as that. Now, if you tell them get a pair of tweezers, clean out yourself, they could damage it. Not only that, they're taking time away from your shop when they come in. Great, it's good customer service. You might get a good review. Guess what? You're going to get a good review anyway. Charge them $35, fix the phone right, and maybe talk them into something additional they didn't even know they needed. To Jonathan's point, screen protector, back glass might be chipped or broken, a battery, tons of opportunity here. I hate to see it. I see these people lose their profits all day long. Oh, I got a good review. You paid $35 for a good review? Why don't you just ask for a good review from every customer who comes in the door? That will take care of that issue. You don't have to pay people to do that. I'm passionate about this because I see these stores lose money all day long on freebies, that kind of stuff. So anyway, go back to your point, Brian. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I was just going to say I had a little situation here at the house, and apparently I clogged up one of my drains. Okay, not the end of the world. Of course, I don't know why it got clogged. I can't tell you that. I believe the cat threw a sock down the toilet and it would flood. I don't know. Anyway, so I called around to several different companies, and of course I tried pouring the liquid Drano down there, and I put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off. Finally, I called a reputable company. They came out. They told me up front it's probably going to be around $300 or $400. I'm like, well, it's cheaper than the alternative, right? Because I don't have it. $75 or $95 to show up. They stuck a snake down the toilet. They were fixed. It had it fixed in 20 minutes, and I still paid $400. Now, a part of me can sit there and go, I got robbed. No. They did me a favor, something that I couldn't do, that I had no way to do it. I didn't have a $1,000 piece of equipment to do it. I didn't have the vehicle, the gas, their insurance, their employee wages and all that. Did it kind of burn a little bit? Yeah, it kind of burnt a little bit, but they're paying you for your expertise or paying you for your knowledge. All right. If it was easy, they would Google it or YouTube it and do it themselves.
Which they probably already did.
Well, yeah, they probably already did and brought it to you in a worse condition than what it is. And, and instead of being upset with the customer or making fun of them, just say, hey, I appreciate the try. Now, because I don't know what's all going to be bad, here's our hourly rate. Okay. And I'm going to have to figure out what you've done inside of here. Take pictures, make notes, document everything that you did, and say, okay, here's what I had to do. You damaged this cable, you damaged that cable, take a picture of it. The total price is going to be X dollars. I mean, at some point they're going to accept responsibility. And if you're thinking that people cannot afford it, okay, fine. There probably are people out there that can't afford it. Let's just take that off of the table here for a minute. But the same people that say they can't afford a $300 repair spend $600 a month at Starbucks.
That's right. That's true.
So there's that.
There you go. We're going to leave off on Starbucks because I definitely love Starbucks. I am pro Starbucks.
I do need some coffee myself. That's actually
okay. Anybody want to just touch on something quickly before we get off of here? I know we've got Jonathan doing your podcast at the GRE. Brad, you are launching 2 new products, right? And doing a demo.
Yeah, we're going to have a big money tunnel. You just grab money. We're just giving money away. Like Oprah Winfrey.
That's what it was.
No, that's a great idea.
It is a money tunnel. So they're going to get in like when you were a kid at like Chuck E. Cheese and like all the money floats around, but this is real money.
Yeah, well, we're kind of torn. We've heard the rumors real money is pretty gross, so we thought about like fake money to be blown all over your body, and then we'll just hand you some money. But there will be prizes. Yeah.
Hey,
nice. Brad, did you tell them that I was the only one that can get into the money tunnel? Did you tell them that?
That's in the very, very, very fine print. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Actually,
If
Chris,
my daughter goes by there, she's not my daughter. She's just a regular customer, and she can get in that tunnel as many times as she
Yes, yes.
She will try to sneak in. She'll probably dress up as a different person and come back around.
Yes.
For the people that don't know, I will be doing like a content certification session there. So for all the guys and all of the people who been sending DMs and they want to get better at doing that content, I'm literally gonna do, even though I've done a course virtually specifically for the RFA, and it's in the RFA portal. We're gonna do one hands-on. You'll download the app. We'll do a quick video. We'll walk you through the entire process of chopping up a video, all that good stuff, like the simple way. Because believe it or not, a lot of these, some shops of content creators are putting on glasses, recording the interaction with the customer in the repair, and they're stopping the recording, and they're getting tons of views, and they're getting lots of customers and visibility by just doing the simple thing. So I'm gonna try and help out the people that just want to do it the simple way and not have to get the camera, all that good stuff. So
I'm so excited for this.
I mean, it's pretty impressive, I got to say, Chris. I've seen some of your views are well over hundreds of thousands, and it's really contributed to your success as a business locally, and even further than that, people are shipping you devices from pretty far away too.
Yeah, now on average, we probably getting at least two mail-ins a week, and then like what's shocking to me is the people that mail their stuff in, they feel like they feel a connection with you because they've watched the content. I've had people send me $20 tips. I had this one guy, he didn't even know that he collects Hot Wheels. He didn't even know I'm a fan of Hondas, and he sent me these two Hondas. One is like this is like my favorite Honda. He just sent me a gift. Like they are the best customers. I'm not gonna lie. The mail-in customers, they are the best. Even though they'll bombard your DMs and they feel like y'all best friends. But I love all the people that follow us because I just I appreciate it. But it's a very I've preached this for a long time. I hate to keep saying it, but if your business if you don't exist on the internet, then your business just does not exist. And I mean, you can still get money word of mouth, and you can still get recognition word of mouth. But virtually, I feel like Gary V preaches this. Gary V talks about you need to get on Whatnot, and you need to be online. It's like the virtual QVC, like. Now that everybody's on their phone, like everybody's shopping on their phones now, and they would rather it baffles me, but they would rather bypass their local repair shop and send something to somebody that they saw a video online. So I think that just like moving forward, a lot of people are going to be like mailing their devices in to these social media influencers because they feel like they trust them more. I don't know.
Something about it.
Yeah.
That is right.
Okay. You look friendly enough.
Yeah, you are.
It could be the gray hair. I don't know.
It definitely is.
We do have certifications at the GRE. So this is a cue for people who have staff that you want to reward, especially. You want to get them to learn something new. You want to show them that you appreciate them. Bring them to the GRE. Let them meet other people in the industry and other technicians and learn new things. And now they can go home with a certificate of completion, hang it on the wall, actually learn something legitimate from someone who knows what they're doing and have something to prove it. And we hope to grow on this in the future. And so we are open to your suggestions. So if you're looking for a certain type of course that you would love to see at the GRE, why not knock out getting certified in something and attending the industry's expo all in one trip, right? I mean, I think it's just a great thing. So
there's no charge for it either.
Charge.
The certification is free as long as you have the VIP ticket, the $75 ticket. It's included.
Yes,
your demos,
that's correct.
The certification classes, that's all included. So it's worth the extra money when you think about it. Last year, like Brian said, it was $99. This year, you get everything for $75. And to your point on free tickets, Brian, we only gave away like 100 tickets. And we had well over 1,200 people there. So you figure most of those people paid the full price of $99. So that being said, $25 and $75 is far cheaper. We're
Right.
just trying to make this, something that'd be affordable for people to come out and really be able to bring back to their shop and start making money right away.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
super excited about this. All right, well, thank you all for being here. If you're watching, be sure to get your ticket, sign up to compete. Don't forget, you can win $3,500 for repairing an iPad 1 charge port. You can win $1,500 cash for repairing a screen on an iPhone 11. And you do have to pre-register online. So some people who don't pay attention to the rules, they're going to miss the opportunity. So make sure you go online and register because we have to have a specific number because there's something special that's going to be given to each competitor this year. We have to have the right number of people to be able to make sure we have one for everybody. So hope to see you at GRE. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next call.
Thank you.
See you guys.